All right, I got 7 o'clock. I'm gonna call a meeting to order at 7. Everyone please stand for the pledge, please. Please, Joe. Here. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic. All right, Alex, you can take the roll, please. Sure. Libby?
Here.
Tanya? Here. Becky? Here. Fritz? Robert? Here. We have a quorum. All right. Taking approval for the 9/19 meeting minutes.
Motion to approve the meeting minutes for 1922. Second.
So first and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, new business. Council to consider purchasing new body cameras for the Fortville Police Department. Chief Pat Bratton presents price quotes and information for council. Pat?
Right, good evening. So currently I have, Axon, which is Taser. They have a body cam program that syncs with the Tasers. I've compared the quotes that McCordsville got from them. They're about $40,000 to $50,000 depending on the units. And then, the county has a something called body worn. They're $30,000 to $40,000 units. So we're going to stick with our current, body cam provider, which is Provision. Haven't got their official quotes back, but that's what they told me that we'd be in the range of. So, I'd like to get council approval, since I do have a grant that ends at the end of the year, to go ahead and spend $10,432.65, which is a matching grant from the small tribal rural body cam grant. So we'll have to come up with $5,216.32.5 for what the grant pays. But I'm gonna need your all approval to spend that type of money and use the grant with that.
We need a motion.
I will get a motion for that, please.
So the existing body cameras, how long have we had those?
We've had the body cam 3s for 5 years. We are down to our last spare camera. The technology is outdated, like any piece of technology. We have much better technology in the BC4s. That's what these are. It also comes with all the software for the, I believe there's a 3-year, 1-year plan on it. They do have a 5-year installment purchase option, but with the grant money, I want to go ahead and do that. Instead of just paying a little bit up front, I'd rather just pay it all up front and use the grant money, because it's not going to be there next year.
Right, that's great. And the difference, you know, where you're taking that out of?
I have money in my equipment fund and my police gear fund still that I can spend out of that. I've been holding back to make sure that there was this there, but I wanted to make sure I got all my price quotes. I just don't have the written quotes from the other 2 companies. We tried calling Axon several times last week, and this week I finally talked to our rep today, and he said he'll give me a written quote. I said, I know what it's going to be in the ballpark, and he said, yeah. I said, we're not going to go with you, but I still need it. So he understood. So if I could get a motion to approve the purchase of body cam 4s, the bundles with the software, the docs, I would appreciate it.
So knowing that the last one lasted 5 years, would it be wise to ask for that to, or in the budget for replacing that? It's anticipating 5-year rotation.
Yeah, we can. It's not a huge, I mean, it's an expenditure, yes. But in the equipment, you know, we can offset it by maybe computers and equipment every couple of years and try to do that. Currently now the ones we have, they're not even making anymore, so we can't send them in for repairs. And that's our problem, because if we can still repair them, we send it in and save the money and repair them. But since we got the grant this year, we're awarded the grant, I'd like to upgrade them all at one time.
Sure, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, budgeting in the future would be,
That's why we were not at, with the absence of any grants.
Right.
If we save up to it.
Yeah.
That's an important piece.
it is. It's an important piece for, evidence security, and it's an important piece for, community. Be open and honest with them if they want to watch it with one love, as long as it's not an ongoing investigation. So,
Question for Pat? We get a motion to approve. I'll make a motion for Chief Bratton to proceed with the purchase of the ProVision cameras and use the grant for $10,432.65 and leaves him with a difference of $52,1633.
Second.
So the first and the second, all in favor?
Aye.
Quorum.
thank you.
$10,435. $10,432.65. 432. Okay, got it. Thank you. So the difference of $52,16.
I think our total grant award was 5,600 change. So we're just under our total grant award. If we do have a little extra out of it, then see it all. Let us hang on to it till next year if we need it.
Okay, Chief? Anything else from you?
The next item on your agenda, Alex is going to go over, I believe the 911 director was going to be here, but he got tied up in a meeting. to Discuss this, the resolution.
Yeah, so, yeah, go ahead. We're gonna consider a resolution to swap out, some surplus police vehicles for some mobile radios.
Yeah, so this is, exactly what you said. So the town has, and the chief can answer more specific questions, but the chief's been talking with the county about county has a need for some vehicles. They just can't find these vehicles. Department's got a couple of surplus vehicles that they're looking to get rid of. The county is willing to, in exchange for that, and the resolution lays this out, purchase 4 Motorola remote mount mobile radios with Wi-Fi and all the bells and whistles that the chief would like them to have, including a 3-year warranty on that equipment. Indiana law allows 2 government agencies to buy and sell personal property like this on terms that they deem appropriate, which is what this resolution does. And the process is council adopts a resolution approving it. The county commissioners will approve a substantially similar resolution. I've prepared a copy of that and sent it to their attorney. I believe they'll consider that at their next meeting. So that is what this is about.
Questions for the chief? How many miles are on each of those about, remember?
I think one was 99,000, the other was about 110. They were both 2014 vehicles, which are 2 oldest in the fleet. That I was going to try to trade in for next year's vehicle purchase, but those cars, they've seen their police duty. So I would probably get more money by trading in the county to get radios. It's a fair trade for them. It's a fair trade for us. We're in need of radios. We're currently using about 20-year-old radios that we bought from Phoenix PD when Bill was here. And they're not encrypted. So the guys only get 1 channel on a radio that holds 300 channels on it. Newer radios with the Wi-Fi updates and all that, we can encrypt whatever channels that's currently what's on our vest that has all the same channels as that. So the guys, if they need to switch to like a SWAT or an investigation channel, they can do it in the car also. And the only additional cost that we would have on top of that would be to get them installed. And it's not, I mean, a couple $100 a car to get them installed. I have that in my motor vehicle budget.
This would be 10A, right?
Yes.
Make a motion to approve resolution number 2022-10A, a resolution of the town council of the town of Fortville, Indiana for the transfer of personal property to Hancock County as presented.
Second.
Right, we've got first and second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, how do we want to do this? Joe, did you write this up or?
No,
Is what we were just talking about having?
It is, so we'll just have, Missy's actually already, she can still test, we've got it in minutes, it's all there, and then just have Chris stop by. Okay. And sign it. We'll be good on the council start. Okay.
All right,
Give me a way to finish out with my side of it. I only have one other thing.
yeah, go ahead.
Actually, I have a couple other things real quick, but I want to introduce Chris King, Officer Chris King. He's our newest full-time officer. He came from San Diego Police Department. He got certified at the IU Police Department through Indiana and then went out to San Diego. And we were fortunate when he came back to Indiana for him to apply to the Fortville Police Department. He's about halfway done with his training. It'll be another week and a half. He should be wrapped up. Chris, you want to come up and you want to say anything? You're more than welcome. Put you on the spot.
Happy to be here. It's a tough choice to leave San Diego. It was kind of our dream, my wife and I, to make a life out there. Things changed pretty drastically in the last couple of years, so we made a big decision to come to Fortville, Fishers area, and we have a 2-year-old, so we just thought it'd be a better place to make a life for our son. And I guess it's just a little 6-year chapter of our lives that we'll just look back on. But I got a lot of experience out there, and I'm glad to bring it to Fortville and with the other officers. And I think it'll be beneficial to the whole town.
Glad to have you.
And then you guys have the monthly for September. So we have covered some training. I've got all the training in there. The updates, obviously, you've seen our pink badges for the Breast Cancer Awareness Month for October. We're doing that. We have our pumpkins purchased for Treats on Main through Tuddles this year. Of course, we'll be handing out candy on Trick or Treat. So like we always do, we gotta get to Sam's Club and stock up. So the voting has come in with, Andy and I put together a voting online on Facebook, and it is going to be on Halloween for 5 days. That's what everybody chose. Well, you didn't fry them enough ice cream, maybe. But yeah, it's gonna be on Halloween for 5 days. Yes, ma'am. And then only other thing to note is earlier this year, I sent Officer Archer to the Pella course, which is the Police Executive Leadership Academy. It's a month-long course where it's getting broken up into 4 different weeks. It's kind of the introduction to supervision type of course. Mark's been to courses like that. Derek's our most senior officer after that. So he actually just graduated and finished last week. And then he went on vacation out to California to visit his father. But if you've seen, please congratulate him, because that was a tough task and a long month of a lot of studying and taking care of important stuff. But I think it's important for us to train our younger officers up into these positions, because I'm not gonna be here forever and nobody is. So we gotta get some younger guys filled up and trained up. That's all I have. Unless you have questions.
Welcome again.
All right, thank you.
Anybody else have any questions for the chief?
Can I ask you a question? I just wondered how many cameras you were getting with that.
So we're getting 19 cameras.
Oh, wow.
We have currently 16 officers. I'm planning on, we have one officer right now as a reserve in training out in Henry County. It's every Saturday through the Henry County Sheriff's Department. So that'll give us 17 full-time officers, well, not full-time, but full-time and reserve officers. And then I'll leave us 2 spare cameras in case somebody goes down. We can just transfer them out and get them another camera.
Thanks, chief.
You're welcome.
All right. Moving on, council to consider first reading of amendment to Title 7, Chapter 72 of the Code of Ordinances. An amendment to restating the speed limit schedule. Nope.
Yes, this, the only thing that this is actually amending is the speed limit from this 500 feet northwest of Marie Lane on Merrill Street up to the town limit. So that one section of the street out there, once you annexed that years ago, it was 50 coming in town. Of course, it drops down to 30, 35 around the curve. Now we've got a subdivision coming out there with, I believe there's 258 homes over at those houses coming in out there. So there's quite a few homes coming in out there, and just to make it a little safer, so to speak, down. But people coming. Now, as you get to that 500 feet, northeast of Murray Lane, it drops back down to third, or stays more than now, so it's just that one segment.
That is be 10B.
It's 10A, so it's an ordinance.
Oh, yeah. All right. Make a motion to approve ordinance number 2022-10A, amendment to Title 7, Chapter 72, the Town of Fortville Code of Ordinances, an ordinance amending and restating the speed limit schedule as presented. All right, we've got a first and a second. All in favor? Aye.
No,
Oh, that's right. Sorry. Yeah. All right. Whole business. Council will consider second reading of an amendment of ordinance 2022-9A, ordinance governing the fee schedule.
Again, this is an ordinance that was proposed a couple meetings ago, and this is due to some of the activities that parks are starting to do now. In order to put the fees for some of the activities that they're doing in ordinance form, so we have a uniform schedule to follow. We've already had first reading, so before you move this evening to the second.
No changes?
Yeah, I think right there, that you had noted.
Yeah.
Some changes on the first, draft, specifically, we talked about taking out, the reduced fee or no charge, I think, for Main Street businesses, so that is gone from the schedule, so there's only local churches that would have no charge. And the other change was for the Princess Tea Party, instead of mother and daughter, it is parent and daughter. Or, dads and girls might be, for the Princess Tea Party, I've gone to it.
Any questions for Joe or Alex on that? Okay.
I'm sorry, what was changed every year? That's,
It's easy. We will, if we find out next year that we need to amend, then we'll come in front of them.
There was room to change a certain percentage, right?
For the food, correct. So we did leave the leeway as cost of good increase, that he could take a look at that and bump those costs up as necessary. But Joe and I actually, we had some email on that question with you today about whether do we need to add as new events come on or subtract if the penguins don't come back. I think the answer is yes, we'll just amend it. It's not difficult for the council to do, and it makes it very public what these fees are going to be. So important for the folks in town to see that. And then also important for our internal controls in the state board of accounts to be able to see that the council has formally approved the event and the costs that are being assessed to the public. So we'll just, when Keith or someone, when we've got new events that are gonna be something like this, we'll just put together an ordinance and drop them in as part of the approval process.
Any other questions or comments? No. Make a motion to approve ordinance 2022-9A, an ordinance of the town of Fortville amending the ordinance governing the fee schedule.
second.
We got first and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. This one's inside.
Yeah, I think that was.
Department head report, Joe.
I don't have a lot this evening, just with me. Town hall is coming along, and I'm hoping, and I'm confusing, but I'm hoping that the next council meeting, well, you're not the next council meeting, but next council meeting will be here, I'm hoping that then the first one, and then we can possibly maybe new building. I'll probably shouldn't say that to someone up there. But it is coming along, and things are looking pretty good out there. And as soon as we get in there, to let you know that I've been talking with Beth about, updating our internal controls, so we do have an internal control policy for the town on, you know, how things are handled, how they function, everything. It's time to do that, we're on that, so we're working with that, and working with the department heads to get some things done in their department, so we can pull it all together, and update our master internal control plan.
Is that, should we do that every year, or you think, just as a?
Yeah, it should be reviewed every year for sure. I mean, we always want to do risk assessment, and especially since we're doing a few new things, you know, we look at our policies.
But it is so fun, it's everybody's favorite thing to do.
No.
But it is it's necessary, so thank you for having me.
Let's hear this.
Take the work on that on the internal control. Anything you need from us on that?
Not right now.
Okay.
I'll let you know.
Right. Anything for Joe? Adam's not here. Anything for Adam, Joe? No. All right, Heath. No, it's all you. There you go.
Heath Luther, Parks Manager for the record. I just got a couple quick things. It's a pretty busy weekend in the park this past weekend. We had, the Penguins in here on Saturday for an 1:45 and 1:15 show. In collaboration with the library, went really well. I believe there's about 150 per show, so about 300 people rolling through. Saturday morning into early Saturday afternoon, we had pints in the park, so quite a few of you guys there. Thank you for showing up. We ended up with just shy of around 200 people. It was a really good event, gorgeous night. You know, under the tent, on the ball field, it worked out really, really well for this year. So all assess as I get a couple more numbers back from Natalie, whether or not from our end, it would be cost effective to do that event again. I'm not sure if it will be, but it did go well as far as the community was concerned. And then Sunday, the Princess Tea Party went off. We had really good feedback from that. We had between, I think now it's somewhere between 30 and 36 people there for that event, 3 princesses, 1 prince. They are actually going to come out for Winterfest and the parade and bring in princesses and superheroes to walk in the parade as well. And they're interested in a sponsorship now. So obviously there's an opportunity for maybe a little bit of a relationship to be formed there. Our focus now, from now until further notice, is Winterfest and trying to get the ball rolling on that. And getting out all the media that we need to get out and finding all of the volunteers that we need to find to help pull this off. So that's all I've got.
What date is Winterfest?
Whatever, Saturday, December, I don't know.
First Saturday in December.
Yeah, I think it's the 4th or 5th this year. I'm not positive. I can tell you.
Well, good job on the events this week.
Yes, thank you. Saturday, December 3rd. Yep.
I have a question, on that Pints in the Park, and this may just be something, I don't know, how was that advertised? And the reason I ask is, I saw on Facebook like the day or two after, and I read about it, and I thought, man, that sounded like it would have been fun, I would have been there. So maybe I just missed how it was advertised.
So I know our event coordinator posted it on Facebook quite a few times. She posted it on Instagram. I believe Andy had posted it on the town website a couple of times on their Facebook,
Okay.
shared it on there. I did actually, my wife was the first person that said, you know, you could have more people here if you would advertise us more. So I thought we need to get better at making sure that gets out consistently. Like I said, it was out quite a few times, but the reality of the situation is if you're posting something like that, it probably needs to be almost every day. And so we're working on that. So.
Okay, I find that a big problem now, because
It used to be a paper, you could open, get a paper delivered to your house, and we need something.
And if you have
Because
something
not
that
everybody
is
drives through
Facebook,
Main Street and sees the aprons or anything, or comes to the park, so. Start a new.
Yeah, so we've got different avenues that we're definitely gonna look at, and so through the Hancock County tourism and part of that stellar marketing side of it, we've got that money that's gonna be used for Winterfest. That was that grant money, and they've got a package together, Hancock Health, well, it's Jim Wells and their marketing team that has done Greenfield stuff, I believe, and a couple other people. They are going to take on all of the marketing, I believe, for Winterfest. So we're working on right now, so it should reach quite a few people once they really get busy with it, so.
Anything else for you?
Thank you.
Quick question. When do you anticipate the bridge being fixed down there?
When we figure out a metal solution for that. I mean, Joe and I have talked that we're gonna keep spinning our wheels if we don't figure something out that's other than wood. So it's finding some,
Is it rot or is it getting damaged?
a little bit of both. So it's rotting, but this last damage was somebody taking what I can only assume is skateboards and rocks and slamming them on it and busting it out and doing those sorts of things. So all of that wood, all of it was replaced when I started in 27. I was only 5 years old and it's completely rotted already. So we need to figure out some kind of solution that's going to be no maintenance and something that's going to be permanent. So
When we get a quote on by the next, is that too soon to get a quote by the next meeting or?
we have.
A second, you have an idea or a solution to quote out, because it's a hazard out there the way it is right now.
The biggest issue is finding somebody that does that kind of work, and that's where I'm gonna have to kind of lean on.
You know, and I don't know whether we shared with you or not, but we were talking to the developer up here on Northwest Florida, and he had found a bridge supplier, because, you know, we're looking at doing the bridge there at Noel Lane where he's in the park. And that developer had donated, I want to say it's $30,000 for the bridge, the cost of the bridge, that wouldn't even touch half of it. So he did find another bridge builder that builds other bridges in other locations that could probably be close to our budget. So we remind you tomorrow and we'll get with that guy and see if he's got another solution. I was saying when we do another bridge in the park, we're gonna do.
Oh, right.
But it's more.
I don't want somebody hurt out there.
No,
Well, it was roped off, I mean, gated off, snow fencing, all of it, and within 2 days, we were down.
Right.
So I mean, we can continue to rope that off, but
So maybe an update by the next meeting, and maybe some quotes by one after that maybe, which I know we're in the winter by that point. That's all. Well. Or. Right, or just, or just.
Better just get a better job. Yeah.
Yeah, we're just usually planks to.
yeah, I wasn't here, you guys have purchased that stuff prior. Do you remember what the cost was on that?
And it was a little over $2,000. It was in touch with the county.
Right.
This was rough sawing oak, it was like 2.5 inches thick. Physically 2.5 inches thick. And then we got from sawmill, when it goes back, I think,
We get us some quotes on that, that we maybe it'll last until we can figure out what we're gonna do. Can't stay like that.
is there just a few boards busted or is it replaced?
I mean, I'd say, I can't remember the exact total number of boards, but it's like something like 40 boards, so 5 of them, 6 of them, somewhere in there.
Didn't have to get a quote. So we see what it looks like.
But they're rotting very quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's,
All right, that buys some time until we figure out what we're gonna do next. All right. All right, anything else for you?
We're gonna build a bridge, how about we build one over there that connects to the trail? That trade-off for fishers. That's a perfect little place over there to build a bridge. Okay, no? You know what I'm saying? I
Talk down
don't
about the
never
sewer plant.
Huh?
Talk down about the sewer plant. Oh. All right, nothing else for me? Thank you. Thank you, Steve. All right, quick treasurer, not here, Alex.
Actually have one thing for you tonight, and that I think some folks here may be interested in. With the issue with Jake Burgess's property and the garage, pole barn, whatever you want to call it, that was built out there and is in a state of limbo. Last Thursday or Friday, we received from Jake's lawyer a written demand with a threat of litigation about the town's alleged mistakes and what Jake thinks should be done. That triggers the ability, that's a claim for the town to be able to submit to its insurance carrier, which we have done. Joe submitted that within probably half an hour of getting that. The insurance carrier, the town's insurance carrier responded back, has passed that on to the insurance carrier's legal team, and they said, town council, we have this, they will engage and address it. So we've all got insurance, understand how that works. So at this point for the council, really, it's an insurance matter, but also it's an ongoing threat of litigation, so we really can't comment much more on that, but I did want to let the public know that that's where things stand. And we've handed that off, and, you know, I think everyone's hope is this will be resolved soon, but it's out of the council's hands at this point. Yeah, question from the back. Yes. Go ahead.
Yes, I live right behind Jake Burgess. I had a conversation with him Friday evening, and he personally told me that the building was coming down. For your information.
It may be, I don't know, and so I don't want to speculate and
I just want to throw that out for your information.
thank you.
Anything else, Alex?
I don't have anything else unless you have questions.
Questions for Alex?
Is there, I'm saying this before I really think it through, is there a time limit or is it just completely up to the insurance company that they move? Or
It is up to the insurance company, and then the insurance company can only control half of the equation, right? So it's the other side and these types of things as well. But I suspect, in my experience, both sides are going to be pretty motivated to find a resolution as quickly as possible. Generally speaking, the longer things take, the more expensive they are. So hopefully things will be resolved quickly, but it's really out of the town's out.
thank you.
Thank you, Alex. All right, any other public comments?
I have one. The subdivision control ordinance, I guess the planning commission was going to have 3 of its members. What became of that from their meeting? From the last?
Voted 3 in, it's, Jason Stein, David Sturdivant, Cheyenne Hoffman. And Fritz and I.
Okay, will those be open to the public?
Yes.
Okay.
We just kind of got, I guess I need to get, yeah, I just have my knee done, so I'm a little bit loopy, so I don't really know the entire thing to do that. I'll get it, Fritz and ask me to try to get.
So it's no
schedules
big
together.
deal.
Yeah,
I just wondered.
try to get schedules together for people to find out what's the best time for everybody to come. Yeah, I'll put it out there so everybody knows. Well,
In our newspaper.
I'll get hold of Vince and let him put it in his newspaper. Yeah, or Facebook and whatever, you know, I'll try to do it the best I can. Just the usual.
Just want to make sure. that you check the schedule.
Yes, yeah, there's a lot of schedules to check. So.
Anyone else in the public? Libby?
You've probably been really disappointed in me because I've not reported on my Hancock County Solid Waste Management Board position.
I didn't want to embarrass you.
Well, I missed a meeting, because I drove it, and, but when I went back, Dee, the director, she's a good woman. But one thing I'm excited she's been working on is a, styrofoam recycling. And they're trying to find, they got a grant to get this recycling thing for, I hate styrofoam. It's like the one thing I always feel bad about throwing away. And, but anyway, it's a recycling thing, ships off and it goes to a company that, makes, mold and stuff out of it. So she's working with this, company to get that, and I'll be over in Greenfield somewhere.
So is that a place people, the public, the brand, what's that?
Uh-huh. Yeah, and they get paid for the styrofoam that gets shipped off to the company that makes it, so that would come back, I'm not sure that. Who gets that, or if it just pays for repairs or whatever. Kind of exciting, grant. No other than business. Fun time.
For the next recycling, that's probably spring.
Yeah, they did not get the ARPA grant to help fund that, and, recycling is gone.
Yeah.
So that she's, trying to figure out how to pay for it.
All right, where to go?
So, yeah. Other than that, I've been everything.
Thanks for the update.
You are welcome. They miss you.
Tanya?
I have that one.
Nothing? I don't have anything. All right, make a motion, we approve and sign vouchers.
Second.
All in favor?
Um,
Aye. Motion is adjourned at 7:38.
Second.
All
Unless
in
you guys
favor?
want to stay with my time.
All right, thanks everybody for coming.